activism begins with ACT. The Russ Belville Show features the stories of hardworking grassroots activists working for an end to prohibition in today's activist agenda.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's 3:30 p.m. here on the Pacific Coast, and that means it's 11:30 p.m. all the way out in Ireland, where we're going to go for our next interviews. It's kind of a double interview here. I spoke earlier today with Kevin Higgins from Norml, Ireland, because he needed to pre-record, couldn't stay up till 11:30. And then we're going to speak live with Ming Flanagan from Norml, Ireland, right after we talk to Kevin. So we'll go to the Kevin interview first, and then we'll be on the line with Luke. Welcome back, everybody. Half past the hour, time for our activist agenda. And joining us today, we've got two gentlemen from Ireland that are a part of Norml, Ireland. I'm going to talk first here to Kevin Higgins. Kevin, welcome to the show, by the way.
Hello, Russ. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, so glad to have you on. And you guys, you and a bunch of other folks got together and had the idea of forming, as far as I'm aware, Ireland's first Norml chapter. How did that come about?
Well, it all started off about 2 years ago. I organised a legalised cannabis protest in the middle of Dublin. And the idea, it was part of the Global Marijuana March on the 5th of May, I believe. Mm-hmm. And after that particular protest, we realised that doing an annual event won't really cut it. We need effective lobbying. We need to bring the cannabis community together in Ireland, which is something that's never happened. So I decided to talk to Ming, who spoke at the protest. He invited me into his office. And since then, I've been setting up Norml Ireland, and we're delighted to be a chapter of Norml, which was founded, of course, in America. And we're grateful for them to have us.
Excellent. And so if people want to get more information on Norml in Ireland, what is your website and Facebook and all that?
Well, our Facebook is facebook.com/Norml Ireland, all one word. And our website is going live on the 24th of October, and that is www.norml.ie.
Norml.ie. All right, we'll look forward to that toward the end of October here. And how has the reception been amongst the Irish people? Do you think folks are ready for the legalization message?
Yeah, and I have to thank America for that one. It's really given us hope over here in Ireland. And one example would be there's a show called Prime Time on RTE, which is our state broadcaster. And it really would be the Jay Leno of shows. It is probably the most popular show in Ireland. And they contacted us last week to ask to do a live TV debate on cannabis legalization the night before the bill on the 5th of November.
Wow. Well, that's a great exposure, especially for a group that's just so new. You must be pretty excited.
Yeah, we're very happy, and we're lucky that we got a former Chief Constable, Tom Lloyd, who's coming over from the UK, and he's going to be sitting on the panel and explaining how he's gone through law enforcement and how he's realised the prohibition just doesn't work.
That's fantastic news. And so Norml Ireland is just getting geared up. And how many people do you have involved so far? And are you looking for more? What sort of events do you have in mind?
Well, we want to do a wide range of events. For instance, we're having author Doug Fine over on the 14th of November in Galway. And we also want to do more protests, and we want to have our first public meeting, which we're long awaiting. We were hoping to have it before the actual protest itself, but it's getting so busy now we're going to have to postpone it till after. But we've assembled quite a fantastic board. We've 2 addiction specialists on our board, 1 politician, a journalist from Ireland's leading music magazine, Hot Press. And they're supporting our protests as well and giving us a lot of exposure. So it really is kicking off pretty well.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear about that the Norml message is spreading all across Europe and the UK. And I'm interested in the political side of things. You know, of course, with the UK and Europe, they've got a whole different set of laws going on there. And so we're going to turn now to, I'll get the full name here, T.D. Luke Ming Flanagan, and we'll just refer to you as Ming from here on. Ming, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, really excited about this. And, of course, here in the States, we look at how we have to fight marijuana prohibition kind of one state at a time, because at the federal level, it's difficult to get any traction on the issue. Can you give us kind of a thumbnail sketch of the politics in Ireland and how the fight to legalize has to go there? I mean, parliamentary wise, and what sort of structures are you going to have to deal with?
Well, I'd have to say you're a long way ahead of the game in the United States of America on the whole issue at the moment. Actually, I'm getting a lot of feedback on my phone here, so I think maybe you better ring me again, because I can just hear my voice back.
Oh, yeah, getting kind of an echo. Sometimes the Skype will do that just a little bit. Let me see if I kill my microphone after the question, and maybe that will help. Go ahead, Ming. See if that works if I kill the mic there.
Yeah, that's a lot better. As I was saying, you're quite a bit more advanced over in the United States on the whole campaign. And as Kevin has already said, we're very heartened to see what's happened in the United States with 2 of your states legalizing it, Colorado and Washington outright. We are at the moment getting ready for a legalization of cannabis bill, which goes before our Parliament, or the Dáil as we call it, on November 5th and 6th. And we'll get the opportunity to debate it for an hour and a half on the first evening and an hour and a half on the second evening, upon which all of the members of Parliament, or the members of the Dáil, or TDs as we call them, will get an opportunity to vote as to whether it will be made legal or not. And we have built our bill pretty much around what they've done in Colorado. We liked what we've seen, what they've actually done there. And that's the road that we've gone down. Now, from the point of view of will it be passed and how many people will vote for it, well, there are 166 people in our Parliament, and you would need more than half of that to get it passed. And I suppose to date, I suppose we would have about a handful of people that will vote for it. Who knows how many will vote for it on the day, but that's where we are. But from the point of view of public opinion, there have been opinion polls done recently, one on the Journal newspaper. It's the biggest online publication in Ireland, and 33 or 34,000 people took part in the poll, and over 70% were in favour of legalisation. So while the members of Parliament might not be in tune with what the public are saying, fortunately there are a handful of us that are.
That's really good news. And I'm just wondering, and forgive my ignorance on this, but the Irish people and your Parliament have a degree of independence on this issue where it doesn't matter what the UK or the European Union thinks on the issue?
Well, I suppose every country could say that they have the United Nations looking over their shoulder. But other than that, there wouldn't be a problem with this if Ireland, as an independent state, we still are independent. I know they do try and give it away to the European Union, try their damnedest for some reason. But we are independent, and if we decided to do it, we'd be perfectly within our rights to do it, no more than Uruguay did. And this is why it's such excellent news what's happened in Colorado and Washington, in that up until now, in a lot of cases, countries would be wary of maybe sanctions being taken against them or pressure being put on them because they would seem to be easy on drugs or lax on drugs in some sort of a way. But now that it's happened within the borders of the United States of America, it kind of makes it a bit more difficult for the United States to take out the big stick and go, hey, you can't be doing that, when in fact it's happening in your wonderful country itself. So in that way, it makes the whole fight easier, you know?
Exactly. And that was something I tried to explain to people in Washington and Colorado as the vote was approaching, is that this was the first shot in ending worldwide prohibition and how important it would be seen to people in other countries. And Ming, I want to ask you, with regard to fighting for the end of prohibition on a public relations level, in the United States, it seems to have taken three major prongs of this argument. One is the medical marijuana argument. Two is the argument of raising tax money. And three is the argument that marijuana is safer than alcohol. How well would any of those or all of those play in Ireland, especially the last one?
Well, the marijuana is safer than alcohol argument isn't actually an argument that really I have used that much, actually, until I read the Mason Tyvert book. And I think it is a very interesting angle. It's not that I haven't thought about it, but you have to think about it here in Ireland. When you come out and you use as your best foot forward that it isn't as harmful as alcohol, you are open to the retort that, well, that doesn't bloody well say much, you know. So while I will use it as an argument, and it is a very important argument, it wouldn't be one of the main ones. But that the argument that Mason Tyvert puts across is actually an eye opener to me, for someone who's been involved in this game for about 16 years. That it actually gives people at the age of 18 the choice to choose a less harmful drug. And I think it's a very good argument to put across. And I will be putting it across during the whole debate in the coming weeks. But what I suppose one of the main arguments for me would be that it would make it, people would know what they were smoking and what they were using. Because in Ireland, over the last couple of years, we have seen a situation where weed or grass, or call it whatever you want, has been sprayed with adulterants to triple its weight. And the stuff that they put in it, everything from paint that you use for roadside markings to hairspray, etc., has been put in it. And people do not know what they are smoking. Legalization, for me, that would be one of the biggest positives if we were to get rid of that problem. Like, for example, I remember about a year and a half ago, people were smoking weed that when you got the ash that came out of it after you burnt it, when you rubbed it between your fingers, it turned into a black, viscous, oily substance. Now, that is an absolutely terrible situation whereby you have young people and people of all ages out there smoking that sort of crap. And if you legalized it, obviously that would change. And for me, that would be one of the big ones. And the cost to the health service down the line from people smoking adulterated cannabis. And if it was legalized, obviously you wouldn't have that problem, because people will buy it off a vendor that they can trust. And obviously they'll trust a legal one more so than an illegal one.
Very good point. And you mentioned briefly the health service, something we don't have here in the United States. And I'm wondering how well are the people in Ireland acquainted with the medical cannabis arguments, the medical uses of marijuana, and maybe the argument that it would save money for the National Health Service?
Well, you say you have you don't have a health service, and we do. Well, they're trying their best to get rid of it, but you're right, we still do have one. And from the point of view of medical marijuana, we are looking at a situation where our Parliament is about to legalise a spray, a Sativex, which is a tincture of cannabis, which people would spray under their tongue and use it to relieve pain and some of the side effects of having multiple sclerosis. But there is a bit of discontent among the legalization of cannabis community about the fact that it is only currently going to be made available in that form, and that there is a monopoly there on the distribution of it, which will, needless to say, put up the price for people who try to access it. But the whole medical marijuana argument is a sort of galloping in a sense relative to to what it used to be, because let's say 10 years ago, I would have mentioned it to the Multiple Sclerosis Association here in Ireland, and you would think that you had 10 heads, the reaction that you'd get off them. So we have moved forward in that sense, but not quickly enough. And I personally, in my fight to legalise cannabis for recreational use, I've been very careful not to abuse that situation and to talk about the legalisation of cannabis for medical reasons as much as I would for recreational reasons, because I think there are two separate issues in a sense, and to be seen trying to piggyback one off the other is a little bit disingenuous, but I think they should be legalised for both reasons. But at the same time, I think it's important to talk about the two of them in a separate context.
We're speaking with Luke Flanagan, also known as Ming, from Norml, Ireland. And was the TD at the beginning the title? Are you a member of the Irish Parliament?
I am, yeah. I'm Chakti Dálaí. It's Irish for a member of the Dáil, or our Parliament, as it is. It's the lower house. It's the house elected by general suffrage across the whole of the Republic of Ireland, and you have an upper house, a Senate as well, with 60 members in it. So we are the primary legislators, and ultimately we decide if you have a majority. But at the moment, I'm an independent, as are about I'd say about 20, maybe 21 other members of Parliament at this stage. So that's where I am politically. Anyway, I used to be mayor of my area, and it's been a slowly developing process over the last 15 or 16 years.
Well, Ming, you just may be the only person I know in a drug reform nonprofit that is also a sitting member of a national legislative body. This would be like a U.S. congressman who is heading a Norml chapter in a state. This is amazing.
Yeah, well, it definitely helps, and it really. The interesting thing about it is that I have been elected from an area that would be considered socially conservative, and I suppose you'd kind of have to agree that it is socially conservative when you hear that we voted against legalising divorce, where I come from, less than 20 years ago. Or 15 years ago. So it's definitely a new issue for the Irish public politically, and it's very exciting to be able to lead it. And I understand no European Parliament has voted on legalising it outright throughout the whole of the country. So that will be a first as well. To be in that little competitive spirit that we have with Great Britain at this stage, it'd be nice to get it into our Parliament before they got it into ours.
I know that's pretty amazing. Not only that your constituents would elect you with such a strong stand for marijuana legalization, but also that they could appreciate your love of the movie Flash Gordon.
Yes, yeah. Well, look at I took the view when I entered politics that if I was going to say something, well then you need to get people listening and show them something interesting. And no more than you put a worm on a hook when you go fishing. The worm on my political hook was using the name Ming. And the media have come biting. I suppose the great skill I've got to try and develop now is to beat some of that media off with a baseball bat, because they can be quite annoying at times. So that's it. But as they say with publicity, you can turn on the tap, but you can't turn off the tap. But I tend to try to focus on social media through my Facebook page and through my Twitter account. And I think it's going to be a very interesting era for issues such as the legalisation of marijuana, now that the public can get their information out there unfiltered by the so-called media. And I think it's a great day. Now we have become the media. We are the ones who put the message out.
Yeah, that's great news. And folks, if you want to follow Luke Ming Flanagan, member of the Irish Parliament and working with Norml Ireland, you can follow him at Luke Ming. Is that correct?
Yeah, at Luke Ming, and Facebook, it's Luke Ming Flanagan TD. So you'll be able to follow me on various different issues there if you'd like to.
That's excellent. And at Norml Ireland on Twitter, Norml Ireland on Facebook, and norml.ie on the web after the 24th. Luke Flanagan, thank you so much for joining us here on the Russ Belville Show, and good luck with everything you're doing in Ireland.
Not at all. Thanks for the opportunity for us to publicise this issue, and any support we can get from the United States, we appreciate it, and we're delighted with the progress you're making, because like it or not, and a lot of the time I might dislike it, ye are listened to, and that's good for us. So,
all right. Thank you so much. Good luck in Ireland, and good luck with your political career. Appreciate you. When we come back, time for a radical rant on the University of Alabama busts.
It's simply business. It's simply business. It's simply business. You know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
It's simply business. It's simply business. It's simply business. You know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business.